Welcome everyone to another episode of Wood from the Trees. Today I have a guy that I've been following on Instagram, and we're friends, aren't we?
The best friends.
We're best friends. But this is actually my first time meeting you in person.
Yeah.
Desmond Doyle from Wicklow. Where exactly in Wicklow are you from?
From Auckland.
Auckland, the sawmill.
Wood fab down there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big into timber when you were young.
Wouldn't say that, no.
Did you
More farming.
farming? Are you a farmer's son?
No. I just worked on local farms.
So how did you get into timber?
It's a bit of a story, I suppose. I was looking for something to do, so I after junior cert for transition year, I decided I'd take the year off and go working. And
After the junior cert?
Yeah. I was like, I fucking hated school, so absolutely detested it. So anyway, I was allowed to do that, but then end of the year, I had to go back to school, and I was like, not a hope.
What were you working at while you left school?
Just working on farms.
Just doing a bit of
Yeah,
farming.
contracting and stuff like driving tractors. So yeah, my mother said, look, you're going back to school unless you find
A job.
a trade or a course that you can do. So I literally applied for
Everything.
everything I could see, and
You just didn't want to go back to school.
pretty much, yeah. So I applied for this forestry course up in Cavan and Ballyhaise, and went and done an interview. I think it was down.
Did you know what it was for?
Not a fucking clue.
Just it was a course. It was forestry.
It was a course, and it wasn't go back to school.
Yeah.
And forestry, I never even considered anything to do with forestry prior to that. Like, so anyway, went for this interview. Turned out I was too young. I had to be 18. I was only 17 at the time. And done the interview.
Kicking the bollocks for you.
Yeah, no, I done the interview, and like it was only a few months out. So the course director, anyway, he's like, how much do you really want to do this? I was like,
Really.
yeah, like this is something I've always wanted to do.
You've no idea how I hate school, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much. I can say that to him. But so anyway, he rang me the next week, and he said, if you really wanted, like, the place is there, but you know you are underage, but we can make some allowances or whatever. And got the course, then went
And did you know what the course was actually for?
forestry.
Just that vague forestry. So when you went home and your mum said, "What are you doing?" Forestry. What does it entail? Don't know.
Not a clue. Yeah.
So were you baptized in fire then? What happened when you started the course?
Well, it turned out I actually quite enjoyed it. It's very interesting. But yeah, I'd never been away from home before either, so this was definitely a baptism by fire, because I was up in Ballyhaise, arsehole Cavan, and the brother threw me into the car, a few bags, drove me up, dumped me off in the middle of the yard up there.
That was it.
Turned around.
First
See you
time
later,
away from
bye.
home.
Yeah. I was shit scared.
Go away. What age are you? 18. Just going
So
18.
Just turning 18, yeah.
You weren't driving at the time, obviously.
No.
And when did you figure out that it was, what would you call it? What aspect of forestry would you have called it then?
I suppose it was setting you up for, the planting, bit of husbandry, sort of forest maintenance sort of thing, I suppose, all that sort of carry on.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it, yeah.
How long was the course?
I ended up 2 years. So we went out on placement. We were down in Mount Juliet and Thomastown doing a forestry rejuvenation thing. But really, we were just going out every night and getting pissed and falling asleep in the fucking woods during the day.
So they weren't working the shite out of you?
Not at all, no. That was a bit of crack, like. It was four of us down there in a house down in on the estate down in Mount Juliet's, lovely place, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just ripped the piss over.
Did you go to work after that then?
I went back up to Ballyhaise again then, and I done all the tree climbing courses.
What made you do that? Just found it interesting?
Yeah, found it interesting. I see they were running the courses up there, and I had seen the lads doing it. I thought, geez, that looks class. Like, it's pretty ballsy work. So
to be fit for it?
Oh, extremely fit, yeah. You have to have a bit of a nerve about you as well, I
For
suppose.
heights.
Yeah, for everything. You know, it's a dangerous enough job, I suppose. But yeah, I just remember seeing the lads think, geez, I won't do that. So, and to be fair, I think like, the forestry work's fucking hard anyway.
It
It's
is.
hard enough, and I don't
It's
know.
physical.
Very physical, yeah, and I'm not is the pay that great? I don't think. At least maybe that day, and it wasn't. Where there was a lot of work for tree surgery.
Yeah.
You know, the jobs were there, and I think the money was better.
Was the
money
training
definitely was
hard?
better. Not really, because I enjoyed it. You know, it was good. It was good fun.
You weren't scared to saw first day?
Not really, no. And some of the climbing now, I don't know, is geez, it'd be shaking like.
Really?
Oh yeah.
How did they train you how to climb? Did they bring you out on site to
yeah,
trees?
just bring you out, big trees, set you up, teach you all the bits and pieces, and then get you to put markers up in the tree like tags and stuff. Send you on.
So they'd show you a tree and they'd say, get to there.
Get to there, get out to there.
And once you finish doing the climbing, do they teach you how to knock a tree down without killing yourself? How do they do that practically?
Yeah, the climbing bits first, and then operating a saw from up in the tree then is next.
Do they teach you how to work the saw down on the ground first?
So well, first, yeah. So you had to do all the.
Do you do the blown trees, like the full saw
Yeah,
course?
yeah. The whole lot of it.
So the first time you worked the saw, you weren't a bit afraid of it, or
I don't think so. No.
do you think it's weird that I work in forestry my whole life and I'm terrified of saws?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And angle grinders.
Oh, no, I'd be the same angle grinders. Don't trust those bastards.
You don't trust an angle grinder, but you trust a saw, which are like 100 times more dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I just got used to using them, but I mean, say some of the lads that were doing the course with me, they were just absolutely hopeless. One lad, he used to pick the saw up and he'd be holding it the wrong way, like.
Go away.
Yeah.
You loved working with him. How about he goes to that branch?
Yeah. Oh, he was two ends useless.
How long were you training? And you took to it, obviously, and you liked it.
Yeah, I did. And actually, when I finished up in Cavan, they offered me like a scholarship thing down in Waterford.
A scholarship for climbing trees?
No, this is forest management.
Oh, yeah. You could have been a quilter man.
Could have been. But it wasn't. I went down there for one day.
Didn't like it.
And I thought, this is just too much. And like it was going to be another 3 years or something.
You just wanted to get.
And well, I'd been offered a job from a lad in Laois, and he was doing sort of experimental plots that he was harvesting, and then he was chipping, and for the early stages, I suppose, of those pellet
mills,
burners.
Yeah.
This is what he was getting into. So I went to, he offered me a job, and initially I was like, no, sure, I'm starting this course down in Waterford. And that evening, anyway, after just like literally the first day, got on the phone. I said, Tom, is that job still on the go there? He's like, yeah, grand. See you next week.
You were that sure after one day?
Yeah, I think just the academic end of it just wasn't.
And when you started that job, how long did you stay there?
That was only 6 months.
And where did you go then?
Ended up back up in Wicklow, working on a golf course. Driving a digger, actually, initially.
How long did you stay at that?
4 or 5 months.
And then?
Left and went to New Zealand.
On like an exploratory mission?
Yeah, I suppose. I was going to stay there for 3 months. I was going out with a Kiwi girl at the time. She was moving back home, so I was like, if I could go for the spin.
What do you work at over there?
Initially, I was working for an agricultural contractor, just driving tractors, mowing, and all that sort of carry on. And then somehow managed to land this job with the equivalent of the ESB over there.
Climbing trees.
Doing tree work around the power lines.
Very good.
I ended up doing that for years then.
How long did you stay out there?
About 11 years.
Did you?
Yeah.
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
Working all around or just in one area?
No, all around the place. It was good, like working for a company, because they'd send you to different places and different contracts that come up. So I'd end up going working for different companies. And they actually then, I had to transfer all my qualifications from here to there.
Did you do any courses?
Yeah, they put me through a whole curriculum of whatever that wasn't translatable, basically. To gain qualifications over there, ARB level 6 or whoever it was.
Is it harder out there than here? Harder work?
No, easier.
Is it not really warm?
I don't mind that though.
You don't mind it now.
No.
But back then, coming from here.
Working around the power lines, there's so much health and safety involved in that. A lot of it's just...
Did you ever injure yourself?
Sitting around. No. No, never.
Never cut yourself with a saw?
No.
Now Gareth. Gareth's going to be listening to this. Gareth cut himself very early in his sawing career.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah. Why
not?
not?
It went across my leg once.
But you had the stuff on?
Yeah. And it just clogged up. But apart from that, no, never.
So, why did you leave that job?
I just wanted to change, getting a bit... do something for long enough, you kind of...
And you were young.
It's not much
well.
of a challenge anymore. So
yeah.
That's what I found anyway. Went and moved down to Christchurch and worked for a tree surgery company down there, managing contracts that were for the power company down there. That was the worst job I ever done. It was horrendous.
Even though it sounds easier.
Well, it was managerial, so I was overseeing lads. It was
Had you to
pricing
be a prick?
jobs. Yeah.
Giving out to him?
Yeah.
You didn't like that, or you did like it?
No, I hated it. And it was too much office work as well, just sitting, a lot of office meetings with all sorts of people, dealing with landowners. Yeah, no, wasn't for me.
And after that?
After that then, that's kind of when I sort of landed on the whole super yacht end of things.
This is where we're heading, by the way. This that is it. I just can't, I'm trying to figure out how you get from A to Z.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is Z. So how did that
Well,
happen?
when I first moved to New Zealand, actually, I went and I done a Discover Scuba thing. I was away on holidays and I just seen this advertised. I was like, fuck, I'll give that a go. So went down to this scuba shop and asked them if we were able to book in for the next day. It was myself and the girlfriend at the time. So
scuba lessons?
Well, it was just like an introductory thing. They just take you out, throw you in the water.
Could you swim?
No.
Really?
No. I said to your man.
Only an Irishman would do that.
I said to your man, there's one thing, I cannot swim. I can't float, can't do anything. He's like, be grand. Stick a wetsuit on you, you'll float, you pop away, and you have VCD, you'll be fine.
What's a VCD?
Your inflation.
Oh, the life jacket.
Yeah, your inflation device. So
I thought that was a sexually transmitted disease.
Well, not then it wasn't. So we went down the next day, kitted us out, went out on this boat, threw us off the side. Instantly, my girlfriend started to freak out.
When you say they threw you off the side, you put on all the stuff, put the thing in your mouth.
Yeah, roll back off the side of the boat, and then you're in the water.
In the ocean?
And you're floating, yeah.
Shite myself.
Oh, stop. And I, funnily enough, even though I couldn't swim, I wasn't too bothered.
Did you float?
Yeah, thank God.
Just bobbing on the ground, on the top of the water?
Yeah.
And you're breathing away?
Yeah, no, it was grand. And anyway, the girlfriend freaked out, so he took her back to the boat, put her back on the boat, and I went on with him. He just deflated it. We went down. I was having a bit of a kick around, just swimming along. He was behind me. So I kept going. Next thing, I look around. So where the fuck's your man gone? He was gone. I couldn't see him. So he must be there somewhere. So I kept kicking along anyway. Your man had lost me.
Oh, wait.
He'd found a lobster pot. He was trying to get this lobster out of the pot or some fucking thing. Oh, he was swimming away. So he's oblivious. And he swam back to the boat with this lobster anyway, threw it in. And
Desmond's lost at sea.
Pretty much. He says to the girlfriend, where is he? So I don't know. I thought you can come back to the boat or something. I can't find him. So anyway, he had to go look for me. Eventually,
some teacher.
Oh, stop. Eventually he went and found me anyway.
How did he find you? He's not shouting in the water, like.
No, she can't hear anything.
And you were oblivious to that.
He wouldn't be able to see the bubbles coming up.
But you were loving life. You were just...
Oh, just having a right old time. Yeah, little did I know. I was he had lost me. So anyway, he managed to find me, come got me, put me back on the boat. You all right? Yeah, grand.
But you got the bug then?
Yeah. sign up for a course the next week.
And what does the course entail? Is that hard?
Well, that's just all the basics of learning, but you're still not being able to swim didn't really help either.
So what are you learning how to go down deeper, or is it just
Well,
learning
initially
not
like
to?
12 meters or whatever, and then doing advanced, so you're down to 20 meters.
Is that when you can get the bends down there, or is it farther you have to
A
go?
bit further.
Did you ever
Well,
get it?
no. Well, that's more to do with like
Deep sea?
but surfacing too quickly or something like that.
But you always have to watch that, do you?
Yeah. It's all about nitrogen levels and stuff in your body as well. But so for the crack, then we just kind of end up going through all the courses and end up me and a few of my mates doing dive master.
So
training.
you're a qualified dive master then,
Then yeah.
and
yeah.
did you
But
work at that?
No. We've just done it like for
Shits and giggles.
pretty much. Never thinking anything come of it. But then of course when I was sick of this,
Job.
tree surgery and all that sort of carry on. It was a lady I actually used to live with had sent me this article out of the newspaper. She posted down to me down in Christchurch. And she's like, so I obviously told her like I hated the job. So she sent this on to me anyway, and little note with it saying, I think, this is something that you should really consider doing. And some more thought, I was like, fuck it, yeah, may as well. So signed up for that, quit my job, moved to Nelson, went and spent 3 months doing all these courses to sort of set you up to work on a super yacht.
How is that advertised? How is a job like that advertised?
The super yacht jobs.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of recruitment agencies.
What's the job description?
It depends. Initially, like it'd be deckhand or something. So, once you have a few qualifications.
So your first job, what was it like? What was it?
I was working on a 65-meter charter boat.
In New Zealand?
No. This is in the Mediterranean.
Oh, this is in the Mediterranean?
Yeah. So I left New Zealand then. Well, I worked for a few years after that, back tree surgery work again, and was put through the training for working on high voltage power line maintenance with the company I worked for, which is pretty sweet. So I ended up doing that for a while as well. Then left, come over to Europe, start dock walking, which is the most horrendous thing.
What's dock walking?
So you go to like the hot spots for all the super yachts, which I went to Antibes in South France. It's a lovely place, but you're getting up every morning, you're printing off your CVs, you're going walking up and down the dock.
Oh, so you were just walking around to different yachts saying, "Can I have a job?"
Yeah, handing out your CV is the most demoralising thing ever.
And are people ignorant?
Generally not, but
they just don't need anyone. And
yeah. Then you pick up a bit of day work. You get a day here and a day there. But I hated it. Hated that as well. Of course, I was a lot older than that. The other people that were there at the time, I was 30, I think. No.
And did you just love
30?
You just
30.
were mad to get on a yacht.
Yeah, well, I done all the courses and that. I was like, I'm going to get a job.
You just kept doing it until you got it.
No, I didn't. I done it for 2 weeks, and I was like, I need to get out of here. It's hard, like it's demoralizing sort of thing. Anyway, the same woman that had sent me the Christina, she's cool, coolest, like my Kiwi mum. She and her husband were up in the Loire Valley cruising around. They'd bought a canal boat. So they were cruising around the Loire Valley. She said, Desi, just fucking can it and jump on a train and come up here and come cruise with us for a month or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Jumped on the train. See you later. And met up with them. And went cruising around Loire Valley and around France for a month. That was awesome.
That sounds like fun.
That was cool. I thought it'd be boring as anything, but
great crack.
Yeah, just pull in, go into a village, buy a few bottles of wine, bit of local food, back on the boat, cruise on. That was cool, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. Went back home then as ended up working what the fuck did I do? I was just back working on farms back home then after that for the summer. I think it was a year later I got a job. Or the end of it would have been nearly a year later.
You were sending emails away to people.
I was, but it's hard enough to get your first job, yeah, especially when you've no experience, like, and then if you're not sort of there on location. So it turned out I met an Irish lad from Tipperary, and he had picked up a job on this boat that I ended up on. At the end of the season, then he quit,
And you took his job.
and he recommended me. So I was drawing hay or something like this, like stacking hay in a shed for this farmer, and get a call from this captain. He says, "Oh, Bobby's after giving me your CV there. He says you're probably the man for the job." So I was like, "All right." So
El Capitan, I sure am.
No, initially I didn't. I says, "All right, what's the crack?" Like, so he says, "This is how much you're gonna be paid. Fly you out 3 days time or whatever it was.
That quick?
Yeah, let us know by this evening." He said, "I was like, fucking hell," which was no brainer. I sit and driving a tractor when I could be cruising around like a super yacht, like, so. Said it to the lad I was working for.
Did he believe you?
I did, yeah.
I've heard some excuses in my day.
Yeah.
This is a woozy.
This is taking the piss. So, I took the job and on I went.
And what was that like starting off, or was it
I
what
sure
you
didn't
expected?
No,
The job.
I didn't have a clue. Really, like, from all the training you do, but sure, it's completely different when you get on a boat.
So when you got on the boat, who was your boss and what did they tell you your job was? Your first job?
Well, they had the captain and the bosun, so we were just maintenance in the shipyard. So it was like painting and just general maintenance of the boat. It was good. It was good crack. Good
Did you live on the boat?
Yeah. In your cabin, on you go. And it was
Hard
good.
work.
You work hard, yeah. In the shipyard, it wasn't too bad. Like, it was on a standard days. You'd start at 8, finish at 5, and finish at 12 or 3 on a Friday, and have your weekend in.
And was that a privately owned yacht?
Yeah.
How big of a?
It was 65 meters, but it was nice. It was good. Good fun. Like, we had a good crew.
And why did you leave that? Did that travel around much?
Well,
was it mostly hovering around the docks?
Yeah, well, after our first few months on board, we left and went down to the Maldives. So that was an eye opener as well. And I was the diver on board, so, like, it was the coolest place to be going. Amazing diving down there, like. So we didn't actually spend that long down there. We spent three or 4 weeks.
So your job was was been on the boat and teaching people how to dive that were staying on it.
Well, it was just the owner was mad for diving, so I was just guiding him on his dives. So I'd get the gear ready and get him on the boat, and then we go out to the sites or whatever. I'd take him diving, and
I'd say you've seen mad affluence.
That's ridiculous.
Different level.
Yeah.
You're probably numb to it now.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Doesn't mean a whole lot to me, I suppose.
And how long did you stay on that boat?
A year and a half.
Why did you leave?
I decided that was the second trip actually down to the Maldives, and we were fucking bored one day, and I'd mentioned to a few lads prior that I was thinking about doing the Mongol Rally. So, standard kind of thing when you mention something like that. Oh yeah, I'll do it. So you've all these lads. Oh, let's get a team together. Fuck it, let's get 2 teams. I was like, right then, let's do it. So we got down to the Maldives anyway, and it's after being there before, it's a nice place, but it's a bit boring. It's not a whole lot. So we were a bit bored anyway one day, and Rob, one of the lads, had said he'd do the rally with me. He said, "So are we going to do it or what?" Yeah, why not? So we brought the laptop into the bar this day, connected to the internet, signed up, registered the team, said it to the other lads, we're going to do the Mongol Rally this coming year. And lads like, not sure if I could, right, say no more. So myself and Rob set up the team, and then I had to quit the job then.
To do it
because, the busiest time of the year is
when that's happening.
Yeah, sort of May, June, July, August, when we were going to go and do it. So I just quit the job and came back home, and
I'd say that was an experience.
I was unreal, yeah. But it was good, I suppose, because you earn a fair bit, and you can't really spend when you're on the boat.
You're earning, and your keep is there. You're just making.
Yeah, like you're kept. The only thing, if you go out for a few pints, maybe in the evenings or the weekends or whatever, that's kind of all you spend your money on. So it was a great way to save money. So we had the money there to do this.
What age are you at this time?
I was nearly 32.
And
32.
explain to someone that doesn't know what the Mongol Rally is.
Well, it's basically you go buy a cheap car, try kit it out as best you can, and drive to Mongolia. That's pretty much it, really.
Sounds horrific. When you say cheap car, that means shit car.
Pretty much. Yeah, it has to be supposed to be under 1 litre.
Oh,
So like it has to be proper shit. So I bought a little Toyota Yaris for €700 and put a roof rack on it, put a sump guard on it, put a guard on the petrol tank.
because they're horrific roads.
Oh,
Like,
shite.
some of them are not roads at all.
No. Well, in Mongolia, it's just desert. You're just driving through the desert. But that's actually not too bad. You get to Kazakhstan or somewhere like that, and the roads are just horrendous. It's like...
Give us a quick rundown of the route. Just
well, I drove over to Southampton, picked Rob up, pretended to do a bit of work to the car. Not really. Stuck a few stickers on it. I went up to London for a few days, came back. Rob had done absolutely nothing.
wait, Rob.
Yeah. And Rob's an engineer, so like he was going to do all sorts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I said, what you do, Rob? Oh, mates came round, went on the lash. All right, good man. Did you get stickers on? Yeah. So, yeah, like even down to the last minute, because we were so shy at organising it. We were terrible. We really didn't know what way we were kind of going to go. But we sort of...
Who sets the route?
Nobody. Just go whichever way you want. There's the starting point was this abandoned military base outside of Prague. It was like something out of Mad Max. It was mental.
Really? And is
Yeah.
everyone there?
Yeah, like 360 cars rock up, and it's just massive party.
I'd be fucked by the time I get there.
I picked him up anyway, and we drove over. But like the day that we were due to catch the ferry across to France, Rob hadn't even got his Russian visa back yet. Hadn't got his passport back from the Russian embassy. So it was looking like I was going to have to drive across myself, and he was going to fly to Prague and meet me there once he got his. But on the very last day, we got a call.
God.
We got your passport back. So then I had to drive up to London into the middle of London, which was horrendous in itself, like for the first day out. And it was the day Donald Trump was arriving or something. So,
So
massive
traffic was
protest.
mental.
Oh, Jesus.
And you're driving a pile of shite.
Absolute heap of shite, like. And so we got up, got his passport, down to Dover, on the ferry, flat out then to Prague. Got to this military base place, got on the lash, partied all night, dying the next day.
And did you all have to go the next day?
Yeah, everybody launched off then and just go whichever way. So we went across Europe.
Does everyone break up? And
yeah, like you have people that go in groups and try stay together, but like we were setting our own pace, so we'd meet people, and then we wouldn't be waiting around for anyone. We're just getting on with it.
where'd you stay?
We generally stayed in hotels, and we camped a few times. We had all the gear for camping, but after sitting in a car for 12, 13 hours a day, the last thing you want to do is pitch a tent and
Was there
sweaty mess in the tent.
was there a few moments during that you went, oh fuck this shit? Like, why did I do that?
Many moments.
Did you push on?
Yeah.
Was it scary?
Sometimes, yeah. We got held up in the arsehole of Mongolia at one time. It was Rob's dream to go camping in the Mongolian desert or whatever.
Can't think of anything worse.
Oh, well,
Camping in Mongolia.
honest to God. So the place we picked anyway was close to this herder's settlement, and it seemed lovely. Pitched the tents, cooked a bit of dinner, sitting around, just having a few beers. A few of the local kids came, gave them some food. Next thing, these lads came over, looking for booze. So we gave them bottle of shite wine. They drank that, which seemed to just aggravate them. Then they
Oh.
wanted more. They wanted to see what was in our cars,
No way.
in the car.
That wouldn't be cool.
And it was only myself and Rob there. And they got really, really aggro. And it started on Rob. And
Fighting?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. And one of the lads, sort of not so aggro. Anyway, he stopped it. The lads jumped on their motorbikes and they pissed off out into the desert. And we're down.
And did you sleep there that night then after that?
Well, we did. We tried.
That's brave. Brave
no,
man.
It was stupid. Yeah, so the aid went off.
Did you say fuck you, Rob, and your dreams of camping in Mongolia?
The next day I fucking did. Because just as it says, as it was getting dark, we had we're in our tents, we're down for the night, and I went out, I don't know, I was out for a piss or something, and I see these lights coming back along. We're probably about 250 meters from the road, down in the desert, like, and you could see the lights coming back, and I was like, fuck, all these motorbikes, and there's nobody out there. And I was like, Rob, I think these bastards are coming back again. So they waited till it got dark and fucking right enough.
They did?
Yeah, the bikes came down off the road. There's a bit of a ramp down, and then the lights went off. I was like, fuck. So we could only hear them. So Rob got out anyway. I was like, get the tents, quick. And fucking just everything into the car. So you could hear the bikes getting closer. I jumped into the car, started the car, and we had all these roof lights and all that, so put on all the lights. And I just drove around the tents till I could see them. But they were just
circling.
Yeah, circle around on the motorbikes. We were shitting ourselves. And Rob, I was in the car, so like I didn't feel too bad. Rob was standing outside trying to pull the tents down and get all our stuff together. And he's there standing with a lump hammer, ready to batter these lads. And they kept coming up at him with the bikes. And then I'd drive at them with the car, like trying to, oh jeez, it was.
What would they have done to you?
I'd say they were going to bait to show you how it was.
And rob
just
you.
rob us. Yeah. And sure, in the middle of nowhere, nobody knew where we were. Just could have killed us and just buried us in the desert, you know, with a fucking clue. Like 5 or 6 of them. And
Did that not put you off the rest of the journey?
put me off camping anyway. So we managed to get everything into the car. Rob jumped in and then I
Bolted.
battered on. And we'd had a feed of beer as well, like, so I was half cut. Trying to drive, because there's no
Roads.
roads. There was a road 250 meters away, and there's only like a small dirt ramp that goes up onto this road.
So you had to find the ramp in the dark.
Jeez, yeah, I driving like a lunatic, and these lads coming up beside us on the bikes, battering the car, and I swerving at them and stuff.
It's like something out of a James Bond film
Oh, it was ridiculous.
without the secret agent.
Yeah, and you're in a Toyota Yaris.
Not Aston Martin.
No. But thankfully, anyway, I found the ramp up. But one of the lads had gone on ahead, and he parked his bike across the top of the ramp, and he was standing beside the bike, and he had stones in his hands. So I swerved at him. He jumped out of the way, fucked the stones at us, pelted him off the car, and we just took off then. And they followed us for a good old while. So we just drove as hard as we could. I drove most of the night. Pulled up, I don't know, probably 2 hours later, because the road, they'd be driving along on the road, and then I'd just stop. Be not, and you'd be just back in desert again. So as soon as the road, the tarred road.
Was that near the end of the journey?
Yeah.
So how long
slept in the
did
car.
you do that after that? When did the end of that?
It was only probably another. Took us like 6 days to drive through Mongolia, and then the finish line was actually up in Russia, in a place called Ulan-Ude.
Anyone waiting for you?
That was a big finish party there, like.
And what does everyone do now? Then you drive it home.
No, most people leave their cars there.
Do you drive it home?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
That was horrendous as well. It was great. Like, it was a great challenge, but see, the thing is, you're driving. It's like it took us 72 days. It was 72 days there and back. It's like you're driving all this, and you're this mad adventure, like. And I mean, so you've only really one goal, is to get to the finish, which a lot of people never make it. You know, the cars fuck out, they fuck out, all sorts. But then you get to the end and it's like, oh fuck.
Anticlimax.
Oh, completely. It's like, what now? What do we do now? And I told Rob, actually, I was like, I'll just fly back as well, Rob, because he didn't want me to drive back by myself.
Yeah.
And like the last day or so, he booked his flights now back to the UK. I said, fuck it, I'll just drive. So he got up, jumped on the plane. He left. Next thing, I'm just in the middle of nowhere in Russia by myself with 10,500 kilometers ahead of me to drive back to Ireland.
Oh my God.
And only a certain amount of days left on the visa to actually make it out of Russia.
So you had to go like a whore.
Yeah. It was about 6,500 kilometers just in Russia alone. And I was doing, I think the most I'd done a day was like 1,400 kilometers. And like the roads, they're okay, but busy and not great there. And I remember one day I drove through 2 time zones. I was just fucked. It's like 16 hours or something like that.
And you got home.
Managed to make it, yeah, thank God.
Did you feel like you'd accomplished more by coming home? Like when you got home, you must have went, wow, I fucking didn't think I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very different when you're doing something like that by yourself in, a country, and especially out in central Russia. People do not speak any English. Not a scrap.
Was it the best thing you ever did?
Definitely, yeah.
Because of the struggle it was?
Yeah. I think mentally at the end of it, though, I was a bit fucked.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite right.
So after, do you still have the car?
Yeah. Still have it at home.
Parked at home?
Yeah.
Sentimental value?
Yeah.
Rob hasn't tried to claim it?
No, he's not interested.
Fuck you, Rob.
Yeah.
It's not your car now anymore. You dumped it. You dumped it in Russia.
Yeah, Rob never wanted it. But some achievement actually driving back home as well. But even getting there, like, it's some trip. Like, be great to be able to do it in a decent 4x4.
Yeah, if you'd done it in something cool,
yeah,
it'd be a pleasure.
Yeah, and you see a lot of people, a lot of Germans actually we found with Unimogs kitted out and stuff like that, and the whole family be just cruising.
There's some weapons.
Unreal. And we're just there in our shitty little Yaris, and no air condition, nothing in it. And I remember driving through.
Did it break down?
Never.
Great little car.
Unreal. Never even got a flat wheel.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing.
Had you different wheels on it? Had you raised or off-road tires? Just cheap, normal tires, everything?
Same. Everything. As I bought it. Yeah, it was unreal. But, never missed a beat. Sarah got serviced, I think, in Uzbekistan or some bloody place. And that was it. Once. Then just drove the shy out of it.
So what did you do when you came home from your rally? Did it cost much to do that rally?
Yeah, because we didn't really scrimp. Like, we decided it's cheap enough to stay in hotels. So we stayed in hotels by the time you get your visas and all. I'd say probably over 10 grand, 10.5 grand each, I'd say. Like 72 days. That's petrol and everything into account. And then I still have the car at the end of it also.
Would you do it again?
I would. I'd take my time and I'd
do it yourself.
Yeah, I'd do it in something better. We got to a point where I think initially we were trying to see lots and do lots and all this, and then it got to a point where like,
just want to get over and done with.
Yeah, let's just get to the end. Especially after that episode in.
If you'd done it again now, you'd enjoy it more.
I think so, yeah. Well, you didn't know what to expect. Like, we didn't have a clue. We didn't even have a route planned until we met these Dutch lads at the starting party. No, we met them in Romania. And I got chatting to them and we're like, oh, so how way are you lads going? And it was similar to what we knew we needed to go east. And we decided we'd drive through Turkey, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and then we'd get the ferry across the Caspian Sea and drive through Turkmenistan into...
Not the way you were just saying countries.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting stressed out even thinking about that. If I don't have an exact designation or know where I'm going, I'd be stressed out.
Honestly, never clue.
Where are we going? Head for Turkey.
Yeah, honestly, that was it. Yeah, Turkey, that way. And but yeah, we met these lads anyway. These were so organised, unreal. So they had this big spreadsheet done out. The distance, the towns are going to be stopping in, the whole route, like Jesus. So anyway, I said to your man, any chance you could email that to me?
Did he?
He did, thank God. So he gave us a bit of direction where we kind of should be heading for. Worked out with 3 anyway.
It was a fair old life lesson, I'd say.
Oh, unreal.
You're definitely fuck it, we'll do and see kind of guy.
100%, yeah. Not too much thought put into it, like. Everything was kind of last minute.
So when you came home, you were finished your little trip, you were after leaving your job.
Yeah.
What'd you do then?
Unemployed.
10 grand spent.
I was coming around at home. I was just doing a bit odd jobs here and there, and I was coming to winter. I don't really like the cold, so I was looking for work, and I seen a job advertised back in New Zealand again, and it was working on a potato farm. So I thought, fuck it, I'll apply for this. You know nothing about potatoes, of course, but
What it tastes like, don't you?
yeah, it was about it. So apply for this job. Geez, she won anyway. Messaged me back straight away. She's like, "Oh, can I call you tonight for do an interview?"
What?
I was like, yeah, I suppose. So 3 o'clock in the morning, get this call. Just woke up, half asleep, start asking me all these questions. Oh yeah. And you're familiar with the whole potato planting procedure and all that? Oh yeah, fucking well done with
Stick
that.
him in the ground, bit of water, we're grand.
Yeah. So 3 days later, anyway, she'd booked me a flight, and I was off to New Zealand to go plant potatoes for the season. So that was an experience as well.
Just for one season?
Yeah, I'd done for 3 months, which I working good hours, like 7 days a week, middle of nowhere. I didn't have a fucking clue though. To get me there and get me up in this, I didn't even. There was all these Fendt tractors. I'd never even driven a Fendt tractor. Didn't have a fucking clue.
They're fair complicated inside, aren't they?
Unreal.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah, and then you stick a potato planter in the back of it, and it's a yoke in the front of it, and there's buttons and screens galore, and
They'd use the map systems and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Take long to get used to it.
Nah, it's handy enough, like just wing it.
Yeah, but you're an intelligent bio too. You're not stupid.
Sure, don't know.
And
But that was good crack. Like it was a good experience as well.
so
Set
when
me up.
did you head back to a boat? When did the boats start calling you back?
That was after that. Actually, I was after the rally. I tell you, I wasn't in the best headspace. Like I don't know whether it was I just didn't know what to do, or don't know what it was. I was just sort of fucking half depressed. Like
Couldn't find something to.
no. I was going out with this girl, and that sort of went our ways, and
All the ingredients were there.
yeah, and I suppose and doing like I was out. I was the only one doing the planting. The first time that was the second time I done it. The first time I done it was 3 of us or 4 of us there planting, and it was good crack. But then it was just me, one planter out in the middle of nowhere, and I'd seen no one from one end of the day to the other, and it was going half cracked. And I'll tell
And you were away from home and family.
Yeah. And I mean, so I was seeing this girl, and she was in the Caribbean. I was just, and I was supposed to get. She was organised a job on her boat that fell through. So then I'm fucking arsehole New Zealand planting potatoes just on my own. 16 hours a day sitting in a tractor.
Not healthy.
Me and my thoughts.
Yeah.
So that wasn't doing me any good. And eventually, actually, I booked an appointment with this therapist. Went once, and she said to me, she says, "I think you know what you need to do," like, because she asked me a few questions, and she said, asked me about the job. I said, "No, I'm over it. It's too much for the fucking mind to take, especially if you're not in a good headspace anyway." So basically she just turned around and said, "Well, I'm not going to beat about the bush here. You need to quit the job. You say you want to finish off your scuba instructor training. Do that. Go get a job on a boat or whatever the fuck you want to do. Ditch the girlfriend. And on you go. Fuck, all right. So talk about that for a day or two. Done exactly what she said. Sitting in the tractor one day, it drives itself. I started looking for scuba training courses that were coming up, and there was one that was recommended to me in Thailand. So I thought, fuck it, I'll do it. So signed up.
There and then.
Rang the crowd I was working for. I said, I have to leave. I'm like, when? 3 days time. All right. So that was it. On a plane. Thailand.
On your own.
On my own. Spend a month there.
Was just making that decision.
Yeah.
Did that make your head
100%.
feel better?
Yeah. And then I was just immersed in the course, which is amazing. Like, just the whole experience of it. The scuba instructor training, like, it was class. Met some cool people.
And you had something to focus on that was worthwhile to you.
Yeah, complete focus, like, and put a lot of effort into it, in fairness.
Did you learn to swim?
I had to learn to swim actually before I became a dive.
I can imagine on the course, the details, standard training.
Yeah.
At least know how to swim.
I had to learn to swim before becoming a dive master.
Aye.
You have to be able to swim for that.
And this a bit closer to your.
And I was 21 at the time. Jesus, I tell you what, it's such an effort. I was at the pool every day, and I was getting nowhere. I was pure useless. I was just doing it all wrong. And I got a lesson off this lady. Didn't help. I'd be trying to swim along, and I'd just getting lower and lower in the water, and I'd try to take a breath in and just sucking in water. And as weeks went by, I was like, fuck, it's not going to happen. It's just not a thing. And it was the people that managed the pool I was going to. I think they just felt sorry for me. Your man came down, the Scottish lad came down. He says, one lesson with my wife, guaranteed she'll have you swimming. Nothing to lose. Went and done it. Changed everything I was doing. One lesson. Job done.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, deadly.
What was the main thing that you were doing wrong?
Because of no body fat, and as I was exhaling when I was swimming along,
You're sinking.
I was sinking in the water. And then when I was trying to take a breath in, obviously I was under fucking water, so I couldn't do anything. Choking, drowning, like. So she just had me hold my breath.
So fat people flow?
Better than skinny people, anyway.
Really?
Apparently so.
I fucking never knew that.
Yeah.
I don't float.
Yeah.
You just sink?
If I hold my breath and like take shallow breaths with as much air in my lungs as I can, I'll float. But like on my back, but I'm well able to swim anyway, like so.
Yeah.
But if I want to float there, I'd have to spread myself out as big as I can be and take in a massive breath, and even then my legs start to go down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the crack.
Well, I'm kind of fat, and
you're sorted. So.
I sink. I always tell everyone it's be big fucking Mickey pulling me down. Wishful thinking. So you qualified as an instructor then?
Yeah.
How long did that course take?
A month.
A month. And you're in Thailand?
In Thailand there, yeah. Doing that.
Were you the only Irish person on the course?
I was. Yeah. It's a good mix, like people from all over the world. It's good crack. Yeah, so, and like even before I'd finished the course, I had been offered a job on a boat.
Really?
As a dive instructor, yeah. I didn't take it, but it was
a sought after job. People needed them on the boat.
Yeah, well, and people had told me, "Oh God, why are you doing that for? There's not that much work out there for dive instructors, and what would you bother spending that much money on it for? And you're not going to, you're not going to earn a whole lot more," which turned out to be a load of bollocks. There was
an expensive course.
Not terribly. It's an accommodation that probably cost me $3,500 or something like that. Well worth it, like just even the personal development you gain from doing the course was class. Couldn't put a price on it. It was great. Like, cause you have to do all this public speaking and all this, and it was actually pretty cool. And then of course, if you're being offered a job before you even finished, it's worked. It's a good boost, like.
Yeah.
So
So where
Um,
did you go after that?
I went and got a job on this Russian boat, which I didn't like.
What country? Based from?
Started off in France. I went to Turkey. And then I got offered a job on another boat when I was on there. So ditched that. Went to this new build. It was still in the shipyard, being built.
So you had a job on a boat that wasn't finished yet.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, they're still fitting it out, so you just go and you're just helping out in the yard, getting stuff ready for it to be launched.
Were you there when it launched?
Yeah. Oh, no, it had been officially launched prior to that, but then the handover to the owners happened like when we were on board.
So is it like buying a car? Is that a private person goes in and says,
Yeah.
I want this boat.
Yeah,
I want it to look like this.
pretty much.
And that's for their private use.
Yeah.
And you're just there to facilitate them. So when they buy a boat, they're buying the whole package.
Pretty much.
All the people that run it, everything.
Yeah, well, usually you get a management company and then they organise the crew, staff it up for them, and on you go.
And is the staff there all the time in case they want to be on it?
Yeah, generally.
How many staff?
30 at any one point on this particular boat.
All year,
It's over 100 metres. So.
24 hours a day?
Yeah.
Even if they're not there?
Yeah.
And how much roughly would that boat have cost?
Somewhere in the region of 200 million.
Yeah. It's cool, isn't it?
It's pretty crazy.
And did you find all that mad, or was it just normal?
Becomes normal after a while. Initially, like it's unfathomable.
And there's probably a lot of work to keep in a boat just tipping
It's
over.
never ending.
Just constant
Because it
maintenance
has to be 100%. Like,
and clean. And
yeah, everything has to be just perfect.
And do you have to drive it around, or is it all docked? Not drive it around, what do you call it? Sailing it.
Yeah.
Just to get the cobwebs out of it.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't just do it just for the crack because it costs too much, but and we just take it wherever they want to go. Then they'll meet you there.
And do the owners, can you get into a yacht and the owner say, right, I want to go to America. Can they go wherever they want in it?
Of course you can.
So there's not boats made for certain seas.
It depends on the size, I suppose.
The bigger the better.
Of course.
Really? That's the case with boats, is it?
Well, it seems to be. It's just go show how much money you have, I suppose. It's a good way of showing off.
It's so interesting.
Because like it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
it's just a big toy. You know, and I guess it's a way of dodging tax or something, I suppose. I don't know.
So how long did you stay on that boat?
2.5 years now. Still there.
Oh, that's the boat that you're on now?
Yeah.
And it is, like, tell everyone just the rough stats of it, because it's you've sent me, it's phenomenal.
That's pretty big, all right. It's over 100 meters. Any decks I got? Six decks. 3 tenders, all over 10 meters. So that's pretty big. Like, so even the tenders alone would be 500,000. There's another tender actually follows around. That's bigger again.
Tender's a small boat that carries around.
Yeah, but it needs to be big enough for us to live on. Has 9 jet skis. Hover pack. What else I got? Whole scuba
And
setup.
that's for the person that owns it to play with at their will.
And them and their friends.
And high rolling friends. You'd meet an awful lot of famous people. We won't give names.
No names, but yeah, we do come across them.
And you have to be real discreet. Like, it's part of the job.
Yeah, 100%.
And facilitate them any way possible.
Yeah.
And
within reason, of course.
yeah. And do you get to play with all the stuff?
Yeah. Well, it's the crew's job to take the guests out. So initially I was hired as a dive instructor, so they decide, I want to go diving, right? Get everything ready, tender, take them wherever they want to go. Obviously within their ability of diving, but like we've done some really cool dives. Mexico is probably the best for that, and Tahiti.
So you when you work, say you're not working right now.
Uh-huh.
So you're home, you're on a break.
Yeah.
So how long are you on a break for?
Generally 3 months.
And then you'll fly back
Work for 3 months.
and 3 months on.
Yeah.
And what's a typical day for you?
For me now,
No, when you're on the boat.
yeah, that's what I mean. Up at 7, start work. This is assuming there's guests on board.
Yeah.
Have a head of department meeting, see where we're going to go for the day, what the guests want to do, and just whatever needs organising for them, because everything has to be
On point.
on point. Whether it's even just booking a restaurant or they want to go for a hike. Could be any most simple thing, but like you have to, it just has to be, everything's ready. As soon as they're ready, we're ready to go. Generally, you'd work 16 hours a day, but I'm involved now. I'm the purser on the boat, so I'm all the finances. So the guests want something,
You have to purchase.
I have to organise it or purchase it or
That's the maddest thing you've had to purchase. Legally.
legally.
I know the fucking crack, don't have to ask me. If I was on the boat, you'd have to do some shady deals, let me tell you. No, that's just me, I don't know.
With the current lot, nothing massive, like nothing major. They're fairly normal people, like.
Where's the farthest you've ever sailed on the boat?
Across to French Polynesia.
How long did that take?
15 days, I think. Yeah, it's about 11 days to get across the Atlantic. Then through the Panama Canal. So that's usually a day. Yeah, and then another 5 days probably across the...
Any scary moments? Bad weather?
Yeah, the very first time I actually went across the Atlantic in this particular boat, coming out of the Straits of Gibraltar, the weather was absolutely horrendous. And there was bits falling off the boat and everything.
Really?
Oh, Jesus, it was unreal.
What did you lose?
Just bits falling off the deckhead and it's just shit breaking. And everybody was sick. The majority of people were sick.
I don't think any yacht ever wants to go to the Atlantic.
No. Well, after that, we sailed south then and we headed down sort of underneath the Azores. And the rest of the trip was just absolutely amazing. But yeah.
Have you been everywhere?
Shook people up. Not really.
Could that boat go up to the Arctic?
It could, like, it's not ice class or anything, so you wouldn't be able to penetrate the ice shelf or anything like that. But
How far have you went?
up that way,
Mm.
not very far. It's generally people on those boats don't particularly like the cold very much.
The bridge and everything on that looks awesome.
Oh, it's unreal, yeah. It's like spaceship, isn't it? Yeah.
So cool.
Everything's like just touch screen and yeah, this is pretty cool.
What would you say to people that think the Earth is flat?
It's clearly not.
Yeah, it's clearly not. But like if the Earth was flat, your navigation equipment wouldn't work, obviously. Would it?
No.
So it's clearly not flat. So
No.
we can put that to bed in episode 12. That the Earth is not flat.
Well,
So-
how could we organise a round the world trip like?
Exactly.
Which we have done at the moment.
They say that you're going around
Yeah,
in a
it's weird.
circle.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
I've listened to episodes of stuff and I've been listening to them now, and I'm not a professional in any way. But I'm there. That doesn't make sense. Have you never?
It's like, and I suppose when we're at sea, like we can't see indefinitely. Like there's the horizon there, and then over the horizon there's.
Have you had any scary moments like with pirates that are that real?
Yeah.
Like, is there places you can't go? Oh, the pirates are
Well,
there.
down through the Suez Canal and out the other side, the Gulf of Aden. That's kind of pirate hotspot down to the Red Sea.
So would you have people on board to help
Yeah,
you?
yes, we take on.
A few lads with guns. walking
Yeah,
around.
take on a few SAS lads.
What's that mean?
Huh?
Private soldiers?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. So we'd pick them up in Egypt, and then they'd jump off down in the Maldives. So we'd
They'd
have
be
to have,
getting mental money, I bet you.
I'd imagine so, yeah. But like, yeah, so they're doing watches, 24-hour watches, and it's cool. Like the all the night vision stuff and all, and we'd have to be on watch with them. It's good crack.
Do you have night vision goggles?
Yeah, yeah. And there's actually a night vision camera on the current boat. There's a night vision camera. It's pretty cool. And
What, honest to God, what are my chances of ever getting to see this boat in real life?
she could go to shipyard and
You can't. You're not going to snake me on.
no, when the owner's on anyway.
Sure, let me
But
know
you
when
could come
you're-
visit. You could come visit anytime, and it's like they're fairly easy going. Like a lot of the crew.
Would
the
you know
fam-
the owner personally?
Yeah, we just have to deal with them every day.
Would he be like, you're his employees, obviously? We
Yeah.
know you by name, and
Ah, yeah.
has he?
No, they're very personable people.
Is that his only yacht?
Yeah.
Has he a helicopter?
No, he's not a fan of helicopters. There's a helipad on it,
Imagine
on the bow.
it's a James Bond villain craft.
Yeah, but he's not a fan. He has a nice big private jet, all right. So he can fly me wherever he wants.
Have you ever had a run in with a shark when you were scuba diving?
Yeah, but intentionally.
You swam towards him.
Yeah, well, I went to dive with sharks
That's like I don't know.
in French Polynesia. We had some hammerheads and stuff. It was really cool.
Not be afraid of him.
No. I think if you do show fear, maybe they sense it. They're very astute. But actually, went for a night dive in a place called Fakarava.
Nope. That's a big nope for me.
Uh,
Can you see anything?
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have lights, but like there are hundreds of sharks. I should show you a video actually. And we were videoing it, and we're just cruising along, and the sharks are hunting, and of course, the other fish are startled by our torches, which is a bit mean, I suppose. So, and then the sharks.
Are they startled by the torches?
No, they're following us, using our torches to
Find the fish.
find the fish.
Really?
Yeah, and then when
Are they really clever?
they actually seem like a bit useless hunters because it's all at night time. I suppose that's all by senses. But as soon as they sense a fish, then the tirade, it's horrendous. Like it's mental.
You're
And
not a bit scared.
at one point, I'll have to admit I was a little bit because they had flushed this fish out of the reef and it was swimming up towards us, and the little fish was trying to take cover
With you?
in amongst,
Oh my God.
and the sharks were chasing it.
And you were
so-
like,
So
why
these
didn't I
sharks
stay in the
just
potato field?
yeah. So the sharks are like, if you can see in the video, like they're just battering into us, trying to get this fish. And sure, they could
Take a lump out.
they
yeah.
could easily take a lump out, yeah. Yes, that was a bit.
Have you swam with dolphins?
Yeah.
What are they like?
They're pretty
The
cool.
wild ones.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Orcas.
No,
Have you seen many whales?
a few, yeah. I've seen a few blue whales actually.
That must be. That's on my bucket list.
That
I'd
was
love to see
cool
a blue whale.
in the Gulf of California down in Mexico. That was class actually. There's a lot of whales down there and thousands of dolphins. It's like for marine life, that is the
Holy Grail.
holy grail. I've been swimming with whale sharks. That was really cool. In the Philippines, that was class actually. That's an amazing experience.
When I be chatting to you on Instagram, I'm always amazed at how you don't realize how mad your life is.
It sure doesn't seem, I suppose, if you're living it, does it? I don't know.
And it's
Yeah.
all because of that. Fuck it, we'll do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And do
Yeah,
you
someone had messaged me like, "Oh, do you want me to come do this?" Like, yeah, why not? Let's go do it.
it's cool.
It's life's for living.
Oh, definitely is.
Yeah.
And do you ever get to drive the boat?
Yeah. Well, just on helm, so just doing manual steering. But that's let's crack out to either. We were coming in. It was really stormy one night. I can't even remember the island. Somewhere in the Mediterranean, and the weather was horrendous. And so the captain's there. He'll call out the whatever heading he wants you to go on. So he'll call the heading, and then you have to keep it to that, or he might
What
say,
does that mean? So the captain is telling you where you go.
Yeah.
And you steer it.
yeah.
And who's controlling the power.
The captain will be controlling the power.
You just steer.
Yeah. So he'll say, like, she's coming into port or something like that. He might say 5 degrees starboard or 10 degrees starboard or hard starboard, whatever. And you just steer to that course then and just call it back to him. Or he might say, steer 178.
Is he
Degrees.
judging all that from a GPS thing?
Yeah, they have big charts.
Do they steer quick? Or are they
No, that one does, yeah.
Is it fast?
I don't know, it does 20 knots or 22 knots or something. This is pretty fast for the size of it. But you're like, you're burning, I don't know how many fucking litres of diesel at that rate.
It's mad.
Yeah.
Do you love your job?
It's a good job. Yeah.
Do you,
I don't know if I love it anymore.
Do you find it harder?
I don't
now?
get as much excitement out of it, I don't think.
Yeah, do you find it harder to leave home now and go to it?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe as I'm getting older and a bit more settled.
What age do you know?
36.
36, you're still only young.
That's only a baby.
Only a baby.
But yeah, I do.
Do you like being on your own?
I do, yeah. I spend a lot of time by myself, I suppose. I've travelled a lot by myself as well, so don't know if it's good for you or not, though.
Travelling has to be good for you.
I know the travelling is, yeah, but I don't know, maybe too much time by yourself. I don't know, maybe it's not.
Yeah, I think it's find a happy medium, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But
If someone had told you back when you left school, junior cert, that you'd be doing what you were doing now,
no hope. I tried when I leave home first when I was 17. Before that, I would have been shit scared.
do your friends think you're mad?
Probably. Definitely when I told them I was going to do the Mongol Rally, they said, and it's had to do, they advise you to go and make a will and everything, you see, before you.
Everything about that Mongol Rally. I've never done it. I know. Remember I said to you, I think I'd like to do something like that. I'm totally out now. The whole will thing, I got not worth it.
So yeah, a few days before I left, had to write up this will, just in case, like.
Have you any brothers?
Yep, 4.
4 brothers.
Yeah.
You the oldest?
No,
Youngest?
kind of middle. 2 younger and 2 older.
No sisters?
2 sisters.
2 sisters.
Yeah.
Big family.
Yeah, 7 of us.
Any of them mad like you?
I think they're all mad, but
They're not all working away doing.
no, they're just working away, just doing standard enough jobs, I suppose.
If you were to come home and do a job, would you? You're going to find it very hard to find something that tickles that thing, or are you getting sick
Yeah.
of that exciting thing?
I
You
know
just
you
get
still
used
need
to it.
excitement in your life, don't you? You need
Depends.
and challenge yourself with it. You know, you always need to. At least I think so.
What's your next challenge?
Don't know. Still work it out.
Do you think about what you're going to do next?
Well, when I started on this last boat, my thing was save enough money, buy a house. You know, just cash money sort of job. But sure, I get to whatever my goal was, and then you look at the price of bloody houses, and
Keeps going up, up, up.
yeah, so you're just
You want to buy your house outright.
yeah. Why wouldn't you? No mortgage,
It's
figure.
It's a great way to be if you can do it.
But like, oh, nothing fancy.
Would you like to live in where? Where would you like to live?
Actually, I could live anywhere.
You wouldn't mind where you live, would you?
No, not particularly. I'd like to be not a town sort of person. So I think I prefer to be out in the country somewhere.
Have you ever went
Bit
to
land.
Egypt?
Egypt. No, only through on the boat.
Never went in.
No, just through the Suez Canal. It's enough.
Where's your favorite country you've ever visited?
Nepal, I'd say.
What do you like about that?
The people there are just amazing, and the landscape is absolutely breathtaking. We've done a 22-day trek up into the Himalayas there.
On your own?
Nah, girlfriend at the time. She's
What's a 22-day trek?
We started off Kathmandu. We flew up to Lukla, and then Lukla is apparently maybe the highest airport, one of the highest. Definitely the most dangerous airport in the world to fly into. You should look it up. It's pretty cool.
Is that the one? Oh, I think I heard about that.
You come in
There's
and land
re-
on a cliff, like.
Pretty much, yeah.
And the air pressure is real low, so it's hard for the airplanes to land.
Yeah. And
Is it
the runway's on a serious slope, like. So you're landing, you're going up, hitting, you're wedged to the thing. And if they don't stop it quick enough, there's just like cliff at the, or a big wall at the end of it. So you just end up in the
God.
wall. And then when you're taking off, they sit at the top of the runway on the flat bit and just rev the bollocks out of it with the brakes on, and just launch it down the runway. And then I think at the end is like, I don't know, might be 2,000 foot drop or something like that. So if you don't get it right, you're probably not going to live.
Would you like to climb a mountain or something?
Well, we done a few of the high passes there. That was pretty cool. Up to like 5,700 meters, something like that.
Oh, that's a nice bit.
Yeah. Well, you know about it when you're there.
Did you get sick? Headache?
Yeah, I did. I felt sick. Only for a short time, like. But yeah, and completely breathless, like. Just when you realise, Jesus, you'd want to be quite fit to be doing that.
What's the food like there?
Pretty basic. Not much meat. Lentils and rice. Bit spicy. Dalba is what they eat the whole time.
They're really, really tough people, aren't they?
Unreal, but so nice.
I watched
their culture's great.
a Netflix documentary about that guy from Nepal that climbed all the peaks.
14
peaks.
peaks, yeah. That's
Amazing.
awesome. Unreal.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Can't picture myself never doing that.
No.
It's enough of an achievement, I think, just to get to base camp.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he was amazing, actually. I think I watched that twice.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, he was an amazing guy. I heard him on Joe Rogan, and he was saying that if anyone else had done that, it'd get more coverage. And I think it is the case.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of...
Because he's Nepalese and
yeah.
the Sherpa, I suppose. Yeah.
Because I watched it, and that is just so crazy.
Yeah.
It's
So much
before I
achievement,
had heard
unbelievable.
that was real, I wouldn't have believed it was real.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But
part.
yeah, he's some drive like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is bad.
Yeah, if he could ever make it there, it's a really, really cool country.
I don't ever see myself making it there, I'll be honest with you. Right?
Yeah.
The airport story has me turned off of that. I try to avoid that as much as possible at this stage. I have too much to lose.
Aye, fair enough. Go to Kyrgyzstan or somewhere instead.
That's a bit easier to get to, is
I
it?
think so. Well, you could drive there.
That's true. So what do you do when you're home on your holidays? Or
Uh,
is it holidays? You just work away and do stuff.
I
do you?
I try to keep busy. I'll work away, do a few tree surgery jobs, and I'm back. And I'm always doing something. Like I try to get a few trips in then as well. I'll go somewhere in Europe maybe for a week or so and travel around Ireland a bit. Try to get a few festivals or something in, especially during the summer.
Are you in a relationship now?
No,
All the travelling?
yeah, I don't think it lends itself very well to it. And I suppose like you come back, you're here for 3 months, you might meet someone, and you're kind of just getting to know them, and then you're like, I can go back to work. See you in 3 months.
Do they be raging with you?
Uh,
Like every time you come home, is there another girl going, that prick left me again?
bollocks.
Fucking raging now. He had money to buy his own house, never did.
yeah. Yeah, and I suppose, and then when I do come home, like I'm here and as much as I like being here, I like to get away too. So I could just decide tomorrow I'm going to fucking France or Italy or Sweden or wherever. Just tip on for a week. Like
You have yourself in a position where you're a well-rounded man with means that likes to keep busy.
yeah.
So you can kind of do what you want, and you have
Yeah.
no real ties.
No.
But is that hard as well? Like, are you always thinking, what next? What next? Or do you ever go, oh, maybe I should settle down, or maybe I shouldn't? Or
The
what?
thought does cross my mind, yes. It has done in recent times anyway. It's like, geez, maybe I should just calm it down a bit.
I don't know. I just wonder because I'd like to see what people think or how people think. And
Yeah. No, that is in the back of my mind. I suppose if you met someone, that had kind of had the same goals, maybe didn't mind living out in the sticks.
I don't think anyone minds living out in the sticks. What's your, if I was to say 10 years you're going to have the perfect life, what would it be? What you would perceive your perfect life as a now to be in 10 years?
No. I don't know. I'd have started up small business of my own, maybe. What that's doing, I don't know. Maybe it could be just tree surgery, I suppose, or something like
Oh, you're going to do something madder than that.
that.
Scuba diving
Well,
lessons in Portumna.
yeah, local swimming pool. I'd love to just buy. I tell you what, I'd really love to do. I'd love to just buy a smallish sailing yacht. You know, maybe 12, 13 meters, something like that. Just sail around the world.
Would you love to do that?
Yeah,
You
that'd
are
be
going to
awesome.
do it, aren't you?
Should we look into it anyway? I'm thinking about it.
How much is a sailing yacht that big?
You'd pick something up, I think, for maybe 35, 40 grand.
And would that be a pile of shite or a good joke?
Oh, it'd be good enough.
Good
Be-
enough
it'd
going
be-
around the world.
It'd be old. Well, I sailed around New Zealand a good few years ago now with a friend of mine, and she had her own boat. It was 10.5 meters. It was fairly old. It was built in 1985. It used to leak and every fucking thing, Jesus. And
Jesus Christ.
and we were out for 2 months, and jeez, we hit some rough seas. Oh my word! And when we're at sea, like it's only the two of us, so like you're doing 3 hours on watching and 3 hours sleeping, 24 hours a day, and oh jeez, we fair wreck. It was some challenge though, like the excitement of, especially even in rough seas. But I remember coming out of Cook Strait at one point, and we were taking lots and lots of waves over the boat, and there was a hole in the anchor locker or some fucking thing. Anyway,
What's an anchor lock?
anchor locker on the front of the boat where the anchor's stored and and on the chain, and the water wasn't draining out that properly, and it was leaking back into the boat. Which next thing we know, we have about 2 foot of water inside the boat.
How long did that take to happen?
Not that long. Well, a few hours. It was actually the first time I was ever sick on the boat because I went
Get the
there.
bucket.
That's what I was doing. And there's a bilge pump in the center, like mounted in the center, but we were sailing into the wind, so we're heeled over that much that all the water was just pooling up like on one side of the boat, and the bilge pump wasn't doing anything. The only time you get a bit of water pumped out was when you were changing tack, and you're going from one side to the other. You'd hear the bilge pump kicking
So how
in.
far are you from land?
We were close enough at that point.
What do you call close enough?
Are
Swim
we-
distance.
No, like I'd say we're probably 3 or 4 miles.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I decided I'd get down and I'd try bail out some of the water with a bucket. As soon as I went down, it was so rough, and I got sick everywhere. I just stayed about. It was horrendous. And then later that night, actually, we were out off the west coast, and we took a massive wave. And I was on deck. I had not long learned to sail
I
either.
thought you were going to say on drugs.
Well, may as well have been. I was out on deck, so I was on watch, and there was a girl on watch with me, this English girl, and she'd never been on a boat before, and she was horrendously sick. She's on watch with me. She didn't have a clue what she was doing.
What are you watching for?
So we don't crash into rocks or New Zealand or any other boats coming, and keeping the boat on course. But the weather was horrendous. Anyway, took a massive big wave across the boat, and the whole thing breached. I nearly
What
got
does
washed,
breached mean?
tipped over.
The boat tipped over.
Pretty much, like it was on its side, like well over, and I got washed off the top of where I was sitting, and only for it was tethered on. I was just hanging on. The boat came back upright again, and it was just full of water. Everything was full of water. I thought, oh jeez, we're going to die. And it was pitch black dark, like middle of the night, middle of a storm.
Did you ever genuinely
How-
think you were going to die?
Then I did.
Did your life flash before your eyes?
Yeah. And coming back from actually Mongolia, I nearly crashed in France. Nearly had a head-on collision. I nearly shot myself.
That's mad.
Yeah. But yeah, that time, that was scary. It's like if I'd have been washed over the side, if the lanyard had broke or whatever, that was it. Not a chance of finding me.
Does Irish mammy and daddy mind you doing all this stuff, or
You
did they know?
don't know the half of it.
Did they ever say to you, will you ever come home and do something with your life? Mammy, I'm making loads of money.
Sure, I think they always like having me home. I spend a lot of time back here now, though. I never used to. I like Ireland. It's good. It's a good spot.
You always send mad videos. You could be in pubs anywhere. Just going for a few drinks. Could be in a back pub in any place, couldn't it?
Sure. Give you scoops in.
I'd say you've met some just amazing, interesting people.
Yeah, you do. You meet some really cool people everywhere you go, I suppose. As long as you're open to talking to them.
Yeah.
More so when I travel by myself, I think I meet a lot more people, which is good. Remember I met he was a teacher actually in a bar. He actually owned a bar somewhere in Turkey. I can't even remember the name of the place. A little arsehole place in middle of Turkey. And he was the nicest guy ever. And he gave us free booze all night, except from Rob. And he couldn't speak any English. And he wrote a letter for us and gave it to us. And he was kind of explaining that how happy he was to have met us.
Oh.
And wishing us well on our journey. Because obviously we were doing the rally at that time. And yeah, I was like, fuck, that's really cool. And he says, and he really regretted the fact that he wasn't able to communicate with us properly. And he if he could live his life again, he'd love to be able to do something like what we're doing then. And it was really cool. So we found this young guy that was also in the pub, and he spoke Turkish and English. So he translated for us. I'm like, fuck, still have the letter at home actually. But yeah, so you meet all sorts. The people there are like so friendly. I think of all the places we went to.
I'd say you're one of these lads that has very few regrets because you kind of do everything you want.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to, don't you?
Sometimes
within reason.
Sometimes you're constrained.
Yeah, I guess I'm in a good position where there's not a whole lot holding me back, I suppose. But yeah, it's good.
It's amazing. What advice would you give young lads out there if you could give them one piece of advice?
Any opportunity you get, definitely just go with it. It's just times you're kind of humming and hawing. Like I've, just for jobs especially, or just traveling.
When you've nothing to lose, just do it.
Yeah.
Because you never know where it's going to take you.
No, you definitely don't. It's like, so for instance, so I started off on the boat I'm on now. I was the dive instructor on there, and they weren't mad into diving, and I was working for 5 months and then having 1 month off. I was like, Jesus, at my age, I don't want to be doing this. I need more time to myself, and doing my own thing. So anyway, I sort of half mentioned it to the purser that was still on the boat, so he works alongside me. But I mentioned it to him anyway, and I didn't realize they were looking for a purser on the boat.
That is
looks after the finances, and crew, and the guests, and all of that, and the things, pay and that. So I'd finished work and I was gone to bed. The next thing, the phone rings in my cabin, and it's the bloody captain. And he asked me up to the office. Now, generally on a boat, if you're summoned to the office,
you're in trouble.
Usually you're getting fired, to be quite honest with you. So I thought, oh Jesus, what have I done? And I thought, that's it now. Sorry.
COVID.
So, yeah. So I went on up anyway, expecting to be fired. And then the captain,
what did I do?
And then the captain says to me, he's like, have a bit of a proposition for you. I was like, what's that? He's like,
suck my fucking dick.
Yeah, you can have everything. So yeah, he says, we're looking for a purser. You might be the man for the job. So he's like, what the fuck's a purser even do? So I said to him, I didn't have a fucking clue. So he said, sure, it's handy. Like, you just pay a few bills, manage the crew, this, that, and the other. I didn't explain it very well, I'll be quite honest with you. And then he says to me, he said, you any good at maths? I was like, if I can use a calculator, yeah, I get by. Yeah, you can use a calculator, whatever you want. And then he said, any good at computers? I was like, nah, I don't even own a computer. I haven't known one since about 2012. Like, you'll pick it up pretty quick. And there's something else he asked me. One other question anyway. And he says, it's a no-brainer anyway. You get 6 months a year off. So basically only work for 6. You get a pay rise. What more? You're nothing to lose. So, let me think about it. So a few days later anyway, I was like, go on. I'll give it a crack. So it's just, opportunities like that. Just take it.
And when you think about it, if you
You've nothing
didn't,
to lose.
like if you didn't do them things, like you never, like you'd never have experienced all those.
No. You put yourself in an uncomfortable position initially, I suppose.
And I know we've been chatting about that, and it sounds like the perfect life, but you've had to work really, really hard.
Oh yeah, it's not easy. You work hard.
There's no easy money.
No.
And you've
Oh,
always
sure.
been working.
Yeah. Even when I was at school, when I was Mitch in school, I still went to work.
Yeah.
I used to just bring, so I'd get on the bus, tip on. Wouldn't even have a school bag in me bag, or a school book in my bag. I just have a change of clothes. There was a mate of mine delivered milk, so I used to get off the school bus, go down, jump in the back of his van, change into my normal clothes, go deliver milk for the day. She paid me.
Was his name Pat Mustard? There's some very hairy babies.
But yeah, it was just never hard days work never killed anyone, I don't think.
Yeah. No, it's just, that's another one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on, because we talk about this kind of stuff a lot.
Yeah.
And the general narrative now that I think a lot of young lads are hearing is, if you're not really good in school, and if you're not going to college and doing all these courses, that you're going to be a failure.
Yeah.
When there's loads of different routes.
Oh, there's so many different things.
As long as you just do something.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because no one could have plotted your route. That's a mad route.
Oh no, not in a.
It's exactly what you said, just saying yes to things.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously you need a bit of initiative.
What drives you? Like, what is your push and goal? What is the end game?
The end game, I guess, just to have a comfortable life. Not to want for much.
What do you want for?
I don't want for anything at the moment.
So then it can't be that, because you'd have stopped.
That's true. But then I suppose I always had the goal of buy a small house, bit of land, preferably mortgage free. That's possible. Probably not anymore.
I know. I think anything's possible if you
Yeah, of
just.
course it is. Yeah, and
Well, you can't staple water to a tree.
no.
You can't eat your own head. But apart from them things.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose that's something that I'd like to comfortable like it, and I don't want for much really. Like, so small little cottage, bit of land, happy.
Are you religious?
More so recent, yeah. I'd say for a long time, no. I denounced anything to do with any form of religion, but then, it's kind of funny. I ended up in Peru. It was after actually the time in New Zealand when
Feeling bad.
Yeah, not feeling great. And as a friend of mine, Erica, I had been chatting to her. I hadn't spoken to her in 4 years. We used to work on a boat together, and we had spoken about going to Peru, doing a trip, and going to this ayahuasca retreat.
Now we're talking. Tell me everything.
So, after hearing everything that I'd said to her about the time in New Zealand, and not just shite headspace, like, and it wasn't getting any better. Like, it wasn't doing us any favors, I don't think. Just lost direction a bit, I suppose. So she rings me up one day anyway and says, I found this retreat in Peru, ayahuasca retreat. I think you should go do it. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to go by myself. And she's like, no, I'll go as well. So, right, let me think about it. So there was no thinking about it anyway. She went and booked it. That was it. She booked mine and hers. And then there was another friend wanted to come on the trip with us as well, Evan. So
How much was it?
he about €1,800 for 9 days. So Evan ended up coming as well. He'd never even heard of ayahuasca. So he sent him a link, said, look into it. If you don't want to come, you can go travel and we'll meet up with you afterwards. So went there, flew into Lima and then down to a place called Iquitos, which is the weirdest place
In what way?
I've ever been. It's hard to explain. It's like it's a dark sort of weird place that people are going to, I don't know, to get away from something or to.
Everyone's in a bad headspace. There's a negative.
It feels that way when you're there. There's a lot of alternative types go there, and I think just never leave. Whatever the draw is, but it's like the gateway to the to the Amazon. So we spent a few days there. It was just wild. You could hardly go out at night time. It was just wild place. I think everyone is just on all sorts of hallucinogenics and stuff, and it's just a weird vibe. And you go to the market. There's a black market there, and you go in around the market, and the stuff that you see,
Like
just
what?
weird. Well, there was one jar, and I remember saying to the guy that was organising our trip, I said, what is this? Oh, that's river dolphin vagina. I was like, what the fuck are they doing in a jar? And right enough, like you look, it's like, oh yeah, it does look like a vagina, right? What did you do with that? Oh, it's used in some ritual, like ceremony thing, for, I don't know, impotence or some bloody thing. I don't know. It was so weird, and the weirdest of stuff there. That was definitely the weirdest thing.
River
And
dolphin vagina.
honest to God, like you
Could be a new
in
sticker.
a pickled in a jar.
I think that's going to be a new sticker now.
There you go.
So, what was the? Give me a quick run. No,
Quick rundown.
No, actually, not a quick one. I want a detailed rundown of the ayahuasca trip. So, what did they say to you, and what do you do?
But when you first arrive, so it was about 3.5 hours boat ride anyway from Iquitos down the Amazon. You're heading down the main trunk of the Amazon, and then a tributary off to it, and then a smaller one, and then a smaller one. And as you're going, like you're seeing snakes and all sorts of stuff, like monkeys galore, and it's just getting wilder and wilder and wilder. Till eventually, it feels like you're just in the middle of nowhere, and you arrive at this place, this retreat. So you get there, and then you're greeted by two shaman there.
Is it? And does everyone get their own shaman, or is there two?
No,
shamans
there's
looking-
two shaman for
Do they
that
speak
look after
English?
everybody. Not a bit. Not a bit. One of them was 86, and he was pretty much blind. And it was his son then, I think was 54, 56. So they were the two shaman that we had. Amazing man.
Can you get a vibe off him
Yes.
the minute that you
Yeah.
meet him?
Yeah. Yeah. You just feel it's hard to explain.
And are they really able to read you by just reading you?
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's certain things they do with touch as well. It's very.
Did you do the purge?
Yes.
Were you nervous while you were meeting them? Like, is it
Yeah, it
getting
was.
scary?
Yeah, and because when you go there, like there were 12 people there, and before you've gone, you've explained everything. Like you've written basically an essay about yourself that you've sent to them, so they know everything.
About you.
Yeah, and then obviously there's a reason you're going there. So mine was depression and whatever. So So you've explained all that before you get there, and then you do a mad detox diet before you get there.
How long is the diet?
So we were doing for 7 days before.
And is it just water and
Water, and you can eat vegetables pretty much.
and you can't
And
even season them or anything, can you?
No salt, no sugar, no caffeine, no alcohol, no spicy foods, nothing.
So you go in and you're brought to your place you're sitting.
Yeah. So yeah, you go into the very first day you arrive, you explain to all the other people that are there as well, you know, what you hope to achieve from your time there. And that's quite, you know, just doing that, it's a bit
But you don't know them, they're strangers.
No, not strangers, but you're all there
for the same
reason. So that done, then the ceremony would start, and you can just picture it now in the middle of the Amazon jungle, and even just the noises of the jungle.
Yeah.
Like it's haunting. So you're sitting there. There's a few candles lighting. There's no electricity or anything out there. So there's a few candles lighting. The shaman start off with some chants, and then they bless the place, and then they do a lot of this smoke this jungle tobacco. They blow the tobacco onto you and all around. That's cleansing apparently. Then
cleanses the dark spirits.
Yeah. And then they come round with the cup of ayahuasca, and each person individually
How much do you have to drink?
They decide, they measure it out.
What does it taste like?
Horrendous. Like
hard to get down.
Mucky battery acid. It's the brown, pretty disgusting substance, and it is bitter and horrible. Is the worst taste. Very hard to get down. So you just have to, you get it, you're supposed to say a prayer, and sort of you ask Mother Ayahuasca what you want to achieve from your
trip.
Your trip, from your ceremony. And then you drink it. And once everybody's finished drinking, all the candles go out. So you're in pitch black dark.
The noises of the jungle.
And then the shaman start this ritual chanting. It's haunting. Really haunting. But quite enlivening at the same time, if you get me. But yeah, first time, you don't know what to expect. You're just sitting there, waiting, listening to all this. And I just remember, in a rocking chair, so me just rocking in my chair. Definitely COVID.
COVIDs.
COVIDs, yeah. And I remember looking at the ceiling, and it was just all these bright sort of, it's like a Rory Borealis sort of a thing on the ceiling. And it was like, fuck, this is cool. This is mesmerizing. And that lasted, I don't know, it seemed like a while. Probably wasn't that long at all. And then, just like that, you could feel a sort of a dark energy just like
grabbing,
taking my body and just enveloping it. I was like, what is happening to me? And my body started to spasm, and like your limbs be moving uncontrollably. I remember then sort of lurching back, just like going really stiff back in the chair. And at this point, the guy that sort of oversees, not one the shaman, the guy that oversees William, the guy that oversees the whole thing, he comes over and he puts his hand on my shoulder. I didn't realise it was him at the time. And as soon as I feel the hand, I look around, and all I could see was like the devil had touched me. And it was this dark, really dark, spiky appearance with these evil eyes. And all he was saying, it's okay, I'm here. I was like, leave me alone. Please, no, just go. Just leave me. He's like, no, you're fine. You're okay. And I honestly thought it was like the devil was trying to. And then after that, then I just went into
Zealand.
Netherland, and
How
Remem-
was Neverland?
scary,
Was it
horrendously scary.
geometric? Was it internal? Did you feel like you were being pulled apart? Did you feel,
Yes, yeah. So
did you see Mother Ayahuasca?
in the first one, no, it was just dark demons. It was very strange. It was very scary. I'll have to be honest. But I remember sort of it was if I would stiffen like and dead straight back in the chair, and it was like someone was pulling at my feet, and then someone else pulling at my upper body, like it's trying to
Tear you apart.
tear me apart, pull me in two, and every few moments, then my head would just lurch back and my mouth would be wide open. I had no control over it, and it felt as if something was coming, like a hand was reaching down into my throat or into my body, and I couldn't, like I was just stiff, like, and it was paining me. My head was that tight, and it's unreal, and something was trying to pull it out of me, and then whatever was pulling at the other side was like, no, don't let them have it, or like it was like, why are you trying to steal my soul, or and then is something trying to get inside me. It was
And at the same time, you're probably trying to hold on to reality.
trying, but
And it's
at
failing.
at that point, like I'd no control over what was happening to me. But then just like that, I would come out of that state and I'd lurch forward, and how I didn't even fall out of the chair, I don't know. Lurch forward as if I hadn't had a breath in ages, and it's just the deepest breath, and then I'd be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and it was so scary. And that's when the purging would start. So you had a basin in front of you on the floor. I remember picking the basin up and just and just the most horrendous stuff coming out of you, purging. And then just like that, then I'd be gone back into that other state again, where that same thing was happening.
And are you feeling, why did I do this? Why did I do this?
Yeah, because I remember at one point I had just ended up kind of back, and I was in the fetal position in the chair, and I just kept saying, I kept shouting, I was like, fuck, I can't do this, please make it stop. And then the shaman would come over, and they were blowing this stuff across my face and kind of calm me down a little bit. Please, no, I can't do it, please make it stop. And like, you're in it, there's no stopping it. And that was scary. And I was like, and then they go, and I said, please don't leave me. I just didn't want to be left on my own, even though there's people around me. And then just like that again, body's just consumed by it again, and you're back in that sort of like you're in a bloody straitjacket, and just stiff and like launching back in the chair. How I didn't end up breaking myself up, I don't know. But yeah, I never fell out of it. And then after a while, it was as if I was taken, and I was taken to this waiting room. Like I could feel as if I was just there, but it was really, really dark in this room. And it was all these sort of spirits, very dark spirits, looked similar to the devil that had touched me at the start. And the objective seemed to be to get out of this waiting room, and it was a big long hallway out of it, and then it turned sharp to the right, and once you got to that point, you could see it was just really bright. So it seemed like that was the objective. And I suppose like all these demons were like probably, I don't know, drink, drugs, self-loathing, depression, whatever. It was all this sort of things maybe that were
manifested in
within you. And every time I go to try leave, they were like clawing at me and just pulling me back. Like, don't go, stay here. It's you're safe here. We look after you. You know this. Don't go. You can't trust them. Don't leave us. And they were like just pulling at me. And I try to go down this hallway, and I get so far, and then I'll be just dragged back. And when I'd be dragged back, then I just back to reality. I was back in the room, you know, and I knew that happened twice, the same thing. And it's like every time it's like, don't go, stay, you're safe here. And like it was scary. And then I remember then Erica, so the girl that was there with me, and she was like right beside me in the next seat. And it was as if she was there, and I could nearly feel her giving me a big hug. And then she said, I can help you. Just follow me. It's easy. And like she's really light and airy, and she just kind of skips off down the thing and she keeps looking back. It's like, Desi, come on, hurry up. It's easy. And like the same thing is still happening to me. The demons are pulling me back and clawing me back. And then she's skipping. I'm trying to follow her. And she's like, come on, let's go. Just have to get to the light. You're nearly there. And then she'd skip on and then look back again. And then next thing she's gone. And I'm just dragged back again. That happened twice.
And in your head, does that feel like it's going on forever?
Oh,
and
ever and
you think
ever.
you're never coming out of it.
Yeah.
This is your life now.
Yeah. But like the ceremony goes on for, it could be 6 to 8 hours. Like it's a long ceremony. And that happened that many times. So I just remember then when I'd come out of that and I'm shouting, like, please don't make me go back there. I can't do it. It was literally draining me. And it probably happened about 5 or 6 times. And then intermittent purging then as well, which like is the most horrendous feeling. But then afterwards you feel so good.
Did you get out of the room?
No, not that time. No, I didn't. Wasn't able to leave. I think in the next, we've done 4 ceremonies, so I think afterwards.
Was the second one the hardest one?
The first one was.
But the second one, were you not going, oh fuck, if I do this again?
Oh yes, no. Beforehand, I was terrified. But everything was moving. So even after, like you can't really walk very well, so I need to go to the toilet. Actually, at one point, I thought I'd shat myself. So I'm there, and I could feel the whole sensation and everything. And I was there, oh my God, I can't believe I've done that. Oh my God, I can't believe I've done that. Oh, fuck, what'll I do? And then eventually, I put my hand up. One of the helpers came over, and I said, I need to go to the toilet. So he took me up, brought me to the toilet, and I was in there, and I pulled my pants down. Nothing. But like in my mind, I could feel it. Like it was so strange. I was 100% certain.
Was that your first time to experience the disillusion of the body and mind?
Yes. Yeah. Well, to that extent. Yeah, definitely. A very scary thing, but I definitely has the ability to change.
Did it change you?
Yes.
How?
I definitely don't have any of that. I used to like quite anxious about stupid shit, like, and then other things I just wouldn't care about. And I'd easily get worked up, and then obviously the time in New Zealand when it was sort of manifested into depression, like it wasn't good. It was not good for anything, for me or any of the people around me. So it seems to have just dissipated that. I've kind of it's ever since. There's not a whole lot that really bothers me.
Yeah.
But amazing experience. But that night, I said I'd never do it again. When after the ceremony, it was like 8 hours long. But once I came back from the toilet, and I remember just sitting there, it was the most peaceful I'd ever felt. And I don't think I even moved, not a muscle, I'd say, for about 2 hours. Just sat there, listened to the jungle. And
did any of the experiences as they went on just have total peace? Or was the total peace afterwards?
The peace was after, like when I was sitting there. And it just, obviously, I felt amazing. But I said after, I was like, I'm not doing any more, that's it. I can't do it. And got up the next day, after like just a few hours sleep. Had a cold shower, went out, and then people started asking me if I was okay. I said, "What do you mean?" It's like we were praying for you last night during the ceremony because you were clearly going through something. I was like, "Oh, could you hear me?" Oh, everything. Never heard as many swear words in the ayahuasca ceremony before in their lives. And they were scared for me because of how intense this whole thing was. And I kind of felt, well, you're asked to explain anyway, like to try and it helps you and it helps other people, I suppose. So I was explaining to them exactly what happened. They were like, "Holy shit, like that's scary." I said, "Well, it was scary." And the more I talked about it then, kind of I felt better then as the day went by. And
Do you think it showed you what it needed to show you
yes,
about yourself
yes,
that really only you could understand?
yeah. I don't know, like has an amazing ability to, if you allow it to heal you, I think. And it must alter your mind some way, maybe.
Do you
Gives
afterwards?
a broader perspective of things, maybe.
Do you ever think about stuff like that now? Like, do you ever think, God, I think I'd like to do that again?
It does cross my mind, yeah. I think you need. I think it's something that sort of draws you in rather than you go seek it, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
Because like I'd been 4 years since I'd actually even played with the idea of going there and doing it, and then not really thought about it much afterwards. And obviously, then when it was needed, then
it was a heavy thing to do
oh,
first.
Yeah.
Had you any experience with psychedelics or anything before that?
No.
You just started at real top.
Oh, this is straight in, head first. Yeah, ayahuasca.
It's mad.
No, we'll go to Peru some point.
We'll go to Peru sometime. But no, look, I'll ask one more question before I go. I asked the last guest this, and I thought it was a good one. If I could give you a choice of living forever or dying right now this second, which one would you pick?
She'd live forever, wouldn't you?
I'd die.
Just die now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew you were going to say that.
Why?
Because you're a lone ranger, aren't you? You're the ultimate lone ranger. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll live forever.
Yeah, fuck it, go
That's
on.
how I ended up on a boat.
I'll keep going.
But look, Desmond, it was lovely talking to you.
That's be good. Glad to come in for a chat.
Yeah. And we'll go get something to eat now or something.
Yeah. Good time.
So, thanks everyone for listening. And I'll see you all next week. Good luck.